Alrighty, folks, we're 4-0 in our last 4 Gold Club plays on my premium page. 7-3 in our last 10 in that same membership. We had the Giants money line yesterday on Tuesday, and they shellacked the Braves by the final of 9-zip. And the good news is I've got another Gold Club play going off here today for Wednesday. That play's already posted and ready for access. And if you sign up for my full access, all-inclusive Gold Club membership, you're going to get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my free pick video here today for Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. Weekend's right around the corner. We are halfway there. And if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. Of course, if you don't need access to all of my premium plays, but maybe you could use like one a day, my daily best play is going to run you just $1.99 for 30 days worth of access. The math works out to be just 6 cents a day. And like I said, doing pretty good in that Gold Club package, stringing together a handful of wins over the past handful of days. Although all the other packages, man, we had a pretty rough day yesterday. So full transparency, wasn't a great day for us on the premium page overall. Although the lone bright spot is we continue to stay hot in that Gold Club membership. So we are looking to make it 5 straight here today. And once again, if you want to see which one of the free plays on this video that I actually like the best, you may want to think about signing up for that Gold Club membership. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Reds at the Nationals. That'll be a 12:05 Eastern first pitch. Cincinnati's minus 135, totals 8 runs. Nick Lodolo for the Reds, Mike Soroka for Washington. Now, Soroka's 3-7 with an ERA in the 5s, and Washington allows over 9.3 hits a game at Nationals Park. It's a pitching staff who's certainly struggled, especially at home, and they're facing a Cincy team on the other side who does a nice job at the plate in their travels. The Reds are a top 10 run-scoring team on the road. Elly De La Cruz leads the lineup in homers, ribbies, and stolen bases. TJ Friedl with an on-base percentage of .364. Of course, on the mound, starting pitcher Nick Lodolo comes into today's start with a winning record on the year. He's actually recorded 7 wins coming into Wednesday's game. When it comes to the total, 3 out of Washington's last 5 at Nationals Park got over the total. Not overly surprising, considering, like we said, their pitchers have been given a considerable amount of runs at home. Washington's also 8-2 to the over in their last 10 ball games at any location. I like the Reds minus 135, over 8. Padres Marlins 12-10 East. San Diego's minus 135, totals 8 runs. Dylan Cease for the Padres, Sandy Alcantara for Miami. Now, Sandy's just 1 loss shy of double digits on this season. 4-9 record with an ERA in the 7s. Of course, as a staff, the Marlins are they're allowing a handful of runs per game. It's a pitching staff who's definitely had their issues, and they're facing a San Diego club who actually does a great job making contact with the baseball. They really don't strike out a whole bunch. As a matter of fact, the Pods are in the top 3 in fewest strikeouts per 9 at the plate. Manny Machado, he's the club leader in homers and ribbies. Fernando Tatis, on-base percentage of .362. As a team, the Pods got the W in 6 out of their last 9 outings, playing some pretty good baseball over the past few weeks or so. And out of the Padres' last 10 head-to-head gatherings with the Marlins, the over cashed in 60% of those meetings. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. I like the Padres minus 135, over 8. Giants Braves 12-15 East. Atlanta's minus 180, totals 9. Spencer Strider for the Braves. Justin Verlander for San Francisco. As much as Verlander's struggled, the Giants do tend to pitch well away from Oracle Park. So if you have concerns about Verlander, rightfully so, the Giants do tend to hunker down when they travel. They're actually in the top 5 in strikeouts per game on the road, limiting opposing batters to just 7.5 hits a game in their travels. Now, they have also pitched well against Atlanta in recent meetings. They've held the Braves to just 3.8 runs a game in their last 10 head-to-head gatherings. So once again, if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. And as far as this season's concerned, well, the Braves have had issues with strikeouts at the plate. Atlanta's in the bottom 5 in strikeouts per game at home. Of course, when it comes to the run line, the Braves are covering in just 41% of their ball games this year. When it comes to the total, 65% of Atlanta's contests at Truist Park stayed under the total. 7 out of their last 10 meetings with San Francisco also stayed under the number. I like the Giants plus 1.5, under 9. Tigers, Pirates, 12:35 East. Detroit's minus 145, totals 9. Looks like a possible bullpen day for the Tigers. Bailey Falter for Pittsburgh. The Bucs with losses in 7 out of their last 10. They've got a losing record in their interleague games. Now, of 35 contests against the American League, Pirates have a .285 win percentage. Definitely struggling in interleague competition. And listen, much of that is on the bats. Pittsburgh's averaging just 3.3 runs a game at the plate. You know, it's a reason that a guy like Paul Skeens has such a dismal win-loss record. They just don't score for anybody, for him, for any other pitchers. Now, they're facing a Detroit pitching staff who actually throws well in their travels. The Tigers are in the top 10 in fewest runs allowed on the road. And in their interleague games, well, the Tigers still have a winning record against National League opponents. Now, 4 out of Detroit's last 5 road games did stay under the total. Pirates games went 60% to the under in their last 10. Give me the Tigers minus 145, under 9. Next matchup, Angels-Mets, 110 Eastern start. New York's minus 195, totals 9 runs. Sean Manaea for the Mets, Brock Burke for Los Angeles. And even though Burke's shown some pretty good stuff this year, the Angels as a team dropped 3 out of their last 4. They have a losing record in their travels. Of course, at the plate, the Angels are striking out 9.7 times per game, just about double-digit Ks for these sluggers. Bottom 10 in hits per contest on the road. And listen, Citi Field's proven to be a tough place to hit at this season. New York's holding visiting batters to just 3.5 runs a game. Of course, as a team, the Mets are currently 36-16 in Flushing, Queens, doing a great job in front of their home crowd. Starting pitcher Sean Manaea has looked strong in limited action, 13 strikeouts and 7+ innings of work, ERA of 2.45. I know that's a small sample size, but definitely looking pretty good in a couple of appearances. Now, 3 out of the Mets' last 5 at home did stay under the total, 7-3 to the under in their last 10 at any location. I like the Mets minus 1.5, under 9. Royals, Cubs, 220 East. Chicago's $1.45, totals 10.5. Colin Ray for the Cubs. Seth Lugo for Kansas City. Now, Lugo's punched out 93 hitters and has an ERA of 2.94. He also comes into today's contest with a winning record and a stingy 1.09 whip. Of course, as a staff, the Royals have been outstanding away from Kauffman Stadium. They're allowing just 3.7 runs a game on the road. You know, it's a team who, if they can get hot, somehow get in the postseason, their pitching staff's going to present a problem for, opposing teams, especially if you get cold. And we see that a lot. Teams get cold at the dish in the postseason. Teams get hot, but some teams get cold. And somehow KC can sneak in. Their pitching staff's going to be a problem for some people. Of course, they're facing a Chicago squad who's actually had their issues against Kansas City pitching. You know, Chicago is one of the top scoring teams in the league, but in recent meetings with KC, it's not been great. The Cubs average just 7.3 hits a game in their last 10 head-to-head gatherings with KC. Of course, more recently, the Cubs did drop 2 out of their last 3, and they averaged just 3.6 runs a game during that short span. Not truly indicative of what they've done for the entire season. Now, Cubbies games went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. KC with unders in 6 out of their last 10 themselves. I like the Royals plus $1.25, under 10.5. Cardinals Rockies 3:10 Eastern start. St. Louis is $1.90. Totals 11. Andre Polani for the Redbirds. Tanner Gordon for Colorado. Now, Gordon's got a losing record on the year. Colorado currently 51 games below 500 as an organization. Of course, they've had issues pitching, and a lot of their issues it's been in the box. Colorado is striking out more times a game than any other lineup. Bottom 3 in runs per contest. It's a, organization rebuilding. Pretty much in shambles. Not built to win at the moment. Of course, when it comes to the run line, the Rockies are covering in only 39% of their contests at Coors Field. And they're facing a St. Louis squad who's got a winning record against the number in their travels. Not bad against the run line. Pitching staff's shown some pretty good control this year. They're walking just 2.6 batters per 9. Now, 3 out of the Cards' last 5 on the road did stay under the total. Rockies games went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. I like St. Louis minus 1.5, under 11. Astros Diamondbacks 3:40 Eastern start. Arizona's minus $1.25. Totals 8.5. Brandon Pfaadt for the D-backs. Brandon Walter for Houston. Now, the Astros won their last 3 straight, and they scored 20 total runs during that short span. And that's really not overly surprising. This is a top 5 hit-producing lineup. And they're going to face Brandon Pfaadt, who comes into Wednesday's start with an ERA of 4.82. Of course, as a staff, the D-backs are allowing nearly 5.1 runs a game at Chase Field, giving up plenty of runs in their own building. Now, 6 out of the Diamondbacks' last 10 outings did get over the total. Houston games went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 themselves. I like the Astros plus 105, over 8.5. Brewers Mariners 3:40 Eastern first pitch. Seattle's $1.30, total 7.5. Luis Castillo for the M's. Quinn Priester for Milwaukee. Now, Priester's 8-2 on the year. Milwaukee pitchers getting plenty of run support. The Brewers average nearly double-digit hits a game on the road, top 3 in runs per contest in their travels. Christian Yelich leads the roster in homers and ribbies. Sal Frelick on-base percentage of .354. They're facing a Seattle club who definitely gives up their fair share of runs. They're in the bottom 10 in runs allowed per game. And out of their last 10 ball games against the Brewers, they gave up nearly 5.2 runs per contest during that stretch. Now, 3 out of the M's last 5 at home did get over the total. 8-2 to the over in their last 10 at any location. I like the Brewers plus $1.10, over 7.5. Twins Dodgers 4:10 Eastern start. Los Angeles is minus 230. Totals 8 runs. Tyler Glasnow for the Dodgers. Chris Paddock for Minnesota. Paddock's just 3-9 with an ERA in the 5s. Not having a great year. Minnesota as a team, they're in the bottom 10 in hits allowed per game. Pitching staff's struggling getting outs. And out of Minnesota's last 10 gatherings with the Dodgers, they allowed 5.9 runs per contest on average. And we could see more of the same, as LA is amongst the highest run-scoring teams in the league. Shohei Ohtani, 36 homers, OPS of .993. Will Smith's hitting .325 with an OPS in the high 900s as well. Of course, as a team, LA's got a .618 win percentage at Dodgers Stadium. 3 out of the Dodgers' last 5 at home did get over the total. They're 75% to the over in their interleague home games. I like the Dodgers minus 1.5, over 8. Orioles Guardians 6:40 Eastern start. Cleveland's $1.30, totals 9. Slade Ciccone for the Guardians. Zach Eflin for Baltimore. Now, the O's took the loss in 6 out of their last 7 games. Just 2.5 runs per contest they averaged during that span. And no real surprise, the O's have definitely struggled at the plate on the road. Baltimore's in the bottom 5 in runs per game in their travels, and they're facing a Cleveland squad who's played some pretty good baseball over the past few weeks. They're currently on a 3-game winning streak, 8-2 straight up in their last 10. The starting pitcher Slade Ciccone comes into Wednesday's matchup with a winning record on this season, ERA in the 3s. Now, total-wise, 6 out of the O's last 10 ball games did stay under the total. 64% to the under in all of their contests away from Camden Yards. I like the Guardians minus 130, under 9. Bo Sox, Phillies, 7:05 East. Philadelphia's minus 145, totals 8.5. Jesus Luzardo for the Phils, Lucas Giolito for Boston. And despite some good stuff out of Giolito this year, the Bo Sox have dropped 4 out of their last 5 games. They do have a 7-10 record against National League opponents on the road. And a big problem for the Red Sox has been their pitching at times. Boston's currently in the bottom 10 in runs allowed in their travels, and they're facing a Phillies team who's consistently hit well in the bank. We pretty much say that on every podcast. Phillies do hit well at home. They produce runs at home, a lot of homers at Citizens Bank Park. Listen, Phillies averaging nearly double-digit hits a game in front of their own crowd. Kyle Schwarber, 33 homers, 75 ribbies, OPS in the 900s. And Bryce Harper with an on-base percentage of .381, OPS in the high 800s. 3 out of the Phils' last 5 at home did get over the total. I like the Phillies minus 145, over 8.5. Yankees, Blue Jays, 7:07 East. New York's $1.35, totals 9. Max Fried for the Yankees, Chris Bassett for Toronto. Now, Bassett's got double-digit wins on the year. It's a 10-4 record, 109 strikeouts. And as a staff, the Blue Jays have mowed down opposing batters. They're in the top 5 in strikeouts per game. Currently as a team, 36-17 at Rogers Center, playing some really good baseball in their own building. And they're facing a Yankee club who's definitely struggled against divisional opponents this year. New York's currently just 5-11 in their road games against the AL East. Of course, at the plate, they've struggled with strikeouts on the road. They're fanning 9.6 times a game away from the Bronx. 3 out of the Yankees' last 5 road games fell under the total. Toronto games went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. I like the Blue Jays plus $1.15, under 9. White Sox, Rays, 7:35 East. Tampa Bay is minus 210, totals 9. Taj Bradley for the Rays, John Cannon for Chicago. Now, Cannon's just 4-7, not getting a ton of run support. Chicago averages just 7.3 hits per contest, bottom 5 in runs per game. And they're going to face a Tampa Bay pitching staff who's shown excellent control at Steinbrenner Field. They walk fewer batters per 9 at home than any other staff. Of course, they're also in the top 10 in fewest runs allowed per game. And we could see more of the same out of righty Taj Bradley. 95 strikeouts, 1.24 whip. 3 out of the Rays' last 5 in Tampa stayed under the total. 7-3 to the under in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Rays minus 1.5, under 9. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. A's Rangers, 8:05 Eastern first pitch. Texas is minus $1.40, totals 9 runs. Patrick Corbin for the Rangers, J.P. Sears for the A's. Sears has 7 wins on the year, whip of 1.28. They're taking on a Rangers squad who has pretty much consistently struggled at the plate this year, especially at Globe Life Field. They're averaging only 7.2 hits a game at home, bottom 5 in runs a game in their own building. And out of 32 contests against AL West opponents, the Rangers do have a losing record in those divisional games. Now, 3 out of the Rangers' last 5 at home did stay under the total, 68% to the under in all of their contests on their own field. I like the A's plus 120, under 9 runs. And with that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. I like the Reds minus 135 over 8. Padres minus 135 over 8 runs. We're 4-0 in our last 4 Gold Club plays on my premium page. 7-3 in our last 10 in that same package. Giants plus 1.5 under 9. Tigers minus 145 under 9. New York Mets minus 1.5 under 9 runs. Kansas City plus $1.25 under 10.5. Cardinals minus 1.5 under 11. Astros plus 105 over 8.5. Brewers plus $1.10 over 7.5 runs. Dodgers minus 1.5 over 8. Guardians minus 130 under 9. Phillies minus 145 over 8.5. Blue Jays plus $1.15 under 9. Tampa Bay minus 1.5 under 9 runs. Give me the Athletics plus $1.20 under 9. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. But most importantly, folks, gotta thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.